Welcome. It is a live edition of the Bullpen with Adam the Bull. Welcome, everybody. What a start to the postseason for the Cleveland Guardians. And this podcast is brought to you by Bet Rivers. If you're not using the Bet Rivers app, what are you doing? Man, it was over early, and that made it a lot of fun. It allowed everybody to relax. When this game started, I had the diehard, longtime fan stresses. I have never stressed out about a team this way. As you know, I've been on the Guardians all year. I've been saying, along with Zach, for months, and I think this team can win a World Series. But it was so important for me to get, in my mind, for them to get this first game, to get off to a good start, to stop the momentum that the Tigers have had. They'd been the best team since early August. They dominated the Astros, took care of business in those games with their pitching. And the Guardians could not have gotten off to a better start. Thank you all for joining me. I will be live here for a while now, the first of two post-game shows today. Nobody in this town has you better covered with the Guardians than me and Zach, the rest of the Bet Rivers team, the rest of the UCSS team. We have got you covered. I had so much fun watching that game. I know you all did too. There's so much to talk about, but let's start right in the first inning. First, in the top of the first, Tanner Bibee goes out there, and clearly he was amped up pitching in his first playoff game. His command was not quite there. He did strike out Parker Meadows to start the game, which was the theme of this game. The Guardians pitcher struck out 13 batters. But even though he struck out Meadows to start the game, you could tell his command was off because he was overthrowing a little bit, had a bunch of high pitches on the fastball to Kerry Carpenter and Matt Vierling. But he got out of a jam with 2 on and 2 out. He gets out of the jam, the opposite field line drive to left. Off the bat, I was like, no, because I thought it was a hit off of Colt Keith's bat. But Stephen Kwan and the Guardians had him played perfectly. They got out of that inning, and he settled down. We'll get back to his pitching in a minute, but let's go to the bottom of the first because this was just unbelievable. Like I said, the Guardians, we were worried about them being rusty. Remember, they haven't played in a week. They had not played a game since last Saturday because of the rain out on Sunday. They played simulated games. Meanwhile, the Tigers playing hard down the stretch. Playing their 2 playoff games, and you're worried about some rust, and there was none of it. Not on offense, not on defense. I know that one ball dropped in center field between Lane Thomas and Stephen Kwan. It was really the only flaw of the entire game. But bottom of the first, after Bibee gets out of the jam, I thought it was a couple of things really stood out to me in this first inning. First of all, everybody in that inning pretty much had a great at-bat. Stephen Kwan, what was it, the first pitch? No, it was the second pitch. Stephen Kwan rips that double to right field. And we all know that Stephen Kwan struggled mightily in July and August, and he got hurt. And he came back right at the end of the season, and he looked pretty good. But then he sat for a week. So I think everybody was a little concerned about Stephen Kwan because of what we saw from him when he struggled for a lot of the second half. But so for him to rip that double on the second pitch of the game was big. Then another guy who struggled in the second half was dealing with injuries. David Fry walks an 8-pitch at-bat, and he walks, right, on a 3-2 pitch after fouling a couple of balls off. It was a great at-bat. I had a good feeling about David Fry in this game. He did get a big hit later we'll talk about. There you see Stephen Kwan, who went 1 for 3, 2 walks, 2 runs. But then Jose comes up, hits that sharp ground ball to third base down the line, just over the bag. Now, it was scored an error. I think this is terrible official scoring. It has not been changed as of yet, as far as I know. But whoever was scoring the game today for the Guardians, terrible job. This is a hit all the way. Now, I guess you could just call it a single, but I don't think you really can Yeah, I guess you could call it a single and error because even if he fielded it cleanly, there was no way they were getting Quan at third. Quan was forced at third. He was running. As soon as the ball's on the ground, he's running. The third baseman's, almost by the outfield grass. There's no way he's beating Quan. There's no way he's throwing out Ramirez. So the only question, they're going to change that. They have to. It's either a single and an error or a flat-out double. Now, I would score it a double. I could live with a single and an error. Then Ramirez would not get an RBI in that situation, but at least he'd get a hit. But either way, the Guardians scored their first run, and that was big. Then Josh Naylor, he comes through with a base hit. It was the Tigers, surprisingly, in my mind, had the infield in the first inning, and I guess it made sense because they had a hard time scoring all game. They know what the Guardians – see, teams are going to play differently because of this Guardians bullpen. That's what's so exciting here. Myself and Zach, we talked about this the whole end of the season. The Guardians have huge advantages on base running. We saw it today. Defense, saw it today. Obviously, the center field sits there one play aside. And certainly the bullpen, which we'll get to in a little bit. But teams will play differently against the Guardians because of how deadly their bullpen is, as we saw today. So normally in the first inning, even of a playoff game, you wouldn't play the infield in the Naylor with Naylor batting, runners at second and third in that situation. You'd play halfway, and you wouldn't play the infield in that situation because you're like, okay, well, even if we need an out here, moving the infield in takes much big time increases the opportunity for a hit on a ground ball, which it ultimately did, and usually teams will be like, okay, it's the first inning, we give up 2 runs. But the Guardians' pen is so good. Hinch knows that the Guardians' pen is completely fresh, plus an off date tomorrow, that Vogt could go to them at any time. He knows he can't afford – he was scared to fall behind by even 2. And in the end, you see why yet again. Worked out for the Guardians. Scoots through the infield. Ramirez at the holdup at second, so he only goes to third. So it's 2-0. First and second, nobody out. And that's it. The Tigers, and you could, if you're a neutral fan or a Tiger fan, you can rip A.J. Hinch for starting his opener, Tyler Holton. But we talked about this. It's what they did all year. It's what they did down the stretch. It's what they did in Game 2 against the Astros. In fact, it was Holton in that game. He's been an opener for them many times. So, unfortunately, this time he did. They then went to Reese Olson, who on the first pitch he throws, a 3-run bomb. Lane Thomas, we know he kills lefties. We know he's been hot in September. But this time against the righty Reese Olson, a crushed 3-run homer to left field. And honestly, it felt like the game, knowing the Guardians pitching, it felt like the game was over right then and there. But it's still the playoffs, so there's still a level of nerves. 5-0 before there was even an out recorded. Now, Reese Olson pitched great after that. Gave up an infield single to Jimenez and then, retired the side and pitched really well after that. But that was more than enough for the Guardians. They scored 5 of their 7 runs in the first inning. They did tack on later in the game in the 7th. In the 6th. 2 on, 2 out. David Fry comes through with a double down the left field line to score. John Kenzie Noel and Stephen Kwan, both guys had walked off Ty Madden, the young right-hander. Talked about heading into this game. You don't want to let the Tigers keep the momentum they have. Guardians stabbed them in the heart right in the first inning. You want to make this team nervous. It's a young team. They have one player on the roster that had played in the playoffs before this week. One. Matt Vierling. That's it. And now they're feeling some pressure for the first time. And I know they've got Tarik Skubal pitching in Game 2, but I don't give a shit. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about anybody. This Guardians team has the ability to win a World Series, and it was an unbelievable performance. Tanner Bibee, let's look at the pitching now. Tanner Bibee was tremendous. I talked about they allowed the 2 base runners in the first inning. And then after that, he was just lights out. Give 3 more hits, walked 1, struck out 6 total in 4 2/3. I know he was a little frustrated to come out of the game, but I thought it was a good move. Obviously, Kerry Carpenter is a righty killer, although he faced Cade Smith, who's also a righty. We'll get to that in a second. And it was going to be his 3rd time against Bibee. You know, if Carpenter comes through there, maybe it's 5-2 game, could be potentially a different game. But Bibee did his job. He pitched tremendously well in this one. He got a little bit of trouble. What was it? It must have been the 4th inning, right? And then he gets the double play and gets out of that inning. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Nice turn by Jimenez on that one. And he extinguished all the threats. And then the bullpen comes in, and Cade Smith. Listen, I understand this guy has done it all year. And so maybe I shouldn't be taken aback by what he did today. But remember, folks, as great as Cade Smith has been all year, he's still a rookie. He's still a rookie. He's 25 years old. That's not that young. He was in the minors for a bit, but he's still a rookie. And this is his first playoff experience. And any Major League Baseball player will tell you how much different the postseason is, just like in every other sport. The energy, the crowd. Kudos to all of you who are at the game. If any of you who are at the game are watching or listening right now, kudos to you. Great job. The crowd was into it. Didn't hear much from Tiger fans. I saw a couple in the crowd. I don't think there was a huge presence. I guess we'll never know because they were never in the game. You see the numbers right there. Look at that. The bullpen, 4 1/3, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks, like they've done all year long. But it's different when it happens in the playoffs. It's special. It's even more impressive. Cade Smith faces 4 batters and struck them all out. Are you kidding me? Your first playoff appearance of your career as a rookie? I'm spitting all over the place. And he strikes out all 4 guys he faces? That's just insane. That's not supposed to happen. I think we're so spoiled by how great Cade Smith has been that a lot of us don't realize that this is not supposed to happen. It's amazing. This guy should be, no doubt, a legit contender to win Rookie of the Year in the American League. And hopefully some smart voters will do it. But it wasn't just Cade Smith. Now, what Cade Smith did was amazing, but it wasn't obviously just Cade Smith because they went to Tim Herron in the 7th inning, and he retires the side in order, gets 2 more strikeouts on only 15 pitches. Yeah, Cade Smith only threw, but the bullpen, the 4 guys who pitched out of the pen, Cade Smith, Tim Herron, Hunter Gaddis, Emmanuel Clase. You see the 4 1/3 there, all the numbers. Here's one number I'll give you 2. 48 pitches total. 48 pitches. That's less than 12 pitches an inning to get, 13 outs. 48 pitches. Cade Smith, 18 pitches, 15 were strikes. Tim Herron, 15 and 7. He did walk the 1 guy, I think, on 4 pitches, if I remember. He walked the leadoff batter in the 8th. They bring in Gaddis, 1, 2, 3, 7 pitches, gets out of the inning. He was the only one without a strikeout. Gaddis, 7 pitches, 4 strikes. Clase in the 9th, 1 strikeout. As usual, he's the most efficient guy. 8 pitches. I mean, they barely pitched. I know there's a day off. You're going to be able to pitch these guys in every game. So, screw Tarik Skubal. Hang in there with him. He's going to pitch well, probably. Guardians just got to hang in there. And the Tigers bullpen is not the Guardians bullpen. Let's just say that. And it's not close. And I know they've done a nice job. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying the series is over. Tarik Skubal could go out there, pitch 7 innings Monday, and could shut out the Guardians, and they might win the game. This thing's far from over. You got to win those 2 more games. Can't get cocky, can't get crazy. But this Guardians team should be afraid of nobody. Nobody. Because they can match any team, certainly in the American League, and I believe any team in baseball. I'll be rooting for the Royals tonight. I want the Guardians to play the Royals in the next round rather than play the Royals and the Yankees. I think the Yankees are, that mystique, and the Guardians would have home field advantage against the Royals. But whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, Guardians got to take care of business, which they did today. Overall for the game, between Bibee, Smith, Herron, Gaddis, Clase, 9 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 1 hit batter, and 13 strikeouts, 124 pitches in 9 innings. What can you say? It's an unbelievable job. The bats were great. The hitters were great. Everybody did their job today. Offensively, the Guardians went 7 for 32, 7 runs, 6 ribbies, a homer, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts. Quan had a hit and 2 walks, as I mentioned before. David Fry, I felt a big game for him. I thought he'd have a big game today. He did 2 for 3, a run, 2 ribbies, and a walk. Jose, as I said, technically 0 for 3 with a walk right now, but I'm guessing that'll be changed at some point here today. And we'll see that first at-bat turn into a hit, which would be the 8th hit. Naylor 1 for 4 with a run and ribby. Lane Thomas with the 3-run homer. Andres Jimenez had a hit. Big Christmas did not get a hit, but got on base with a walk. Bo Naylor was the only one who really didn't contribute. I thought Brian Rocchio had some great at-bats in this game. He was 1 for 4, but I like what I'm seeing from Rocchio. I thought he played really well down the stretch. And even though he went 1 for 4 in this game, it's kind of, if you didn't watch it, it looks like a kind of a nothing game in the box score. But I thought he played well. He always does a good job in the field, or I shouldn't say always, but most of the time. And I thought he had some really good at-bats. Deep counts, worked the pitchers. I liked it. I'm feeling really good about this team, folks. Kyle Manzardo got a pinch-hitting appearance. He did strike out, but I'm just feeling this team. I was feeling them before this started, as you know. I picked them to win it all yesterday on the Ultimate Guardian show, and certainly I don't feel any worse about that pick right now. So great start. Take a breather. Game 2 will be on Monday, 4:08. We'll see Manzardo in the starting lineup because Skubal's a lefty. They will have no, I guess not. The opposite. We won't see Manzardo in the starting lineup because they're facing a lefty. It'll be Fry again. It'll be I guess it could be the same lineup. Unless they decide to go with Austin Hedges at catcher, I wouldn't think they would. I think we'll see probably the same lineup with the lefty Skubal. Fry will be in the 2 spot. Lane Thomas will bat lower in the lineup. In that 5 spot. I like the way the lineup was set today. I like Big Christmas in there in the 7 spot. And I think we'll see the same exact lineup for game 2 that you see again, 4:08 Monday on TNT, TBS, Max, whatever streaming service you're using. On the bases, couple steals, Andres Jimenez and David Fry both stole a base. Guardians turned 2 double plays. What can you say? I mean, they did it outside of the ball that dropped in left center field between Fry and Lane Thomas, which I guess we'll hear in the postgame. I guess that they lost it to the sun, or maybe Thomas thought Quan called it. I don't know. Outside of that one play, pretty much the Guardians did everything right. Yeah, there were a couple of bad at-bats along the way in the middle of the game. And Josh Naylor came up in a spot with a couple of runners on and struck out, swung at some bad pitches. But that is serious nitpicking at this point. Game 2, pitching matchup. Mentioned Tarik Skubal for the Tigers. It's going to be Matthew Boyd. So it's going to be amazing. Boyd is going to start game 2. Alex Cobb's going to start game 3. They've combined to pitch about 50 innings for the Guardians this year, which is amazing. Ben Lively did not make the roster. Pedro Avila did not make the roster. I know some people thought Miles Straw might get called up. He did not. They put Tyler Freeman. He makes it over Angel Martinez, the final hitting spot. They did go 14 and 12, as we expected. 14 hitters, 12 pitchers. Let's see some of the reaction from you folks now. All right. Where are we starting here? Oh, got to go back to the beginning. Okay. Cody Holland, let's go. Victor, I lost a parlay because they didn't call Jose's a hit. By the way, I did a Bet Rivers same game parlay. I put a video up today. I hope you had a chance. I hope you saw the video. So, you'll know that I did this. But my same game parlay for this one at the Bet Rivers Sportsbook was Guardians money line, Guardians to score first, and Tanner Bibee over 5.5 strikeouts. And Jose Ramirez over 1.5 total bases. So I think, hold on a second. Yeah. So as of now, I hit 3 out of 4, but I didn't hit the Jose Ramirez over. I think the official score will eventually change that. It'll be a double, and we'll win that parlay. So there you go. So I feel you, but they need to change that. Sven, let's go, Sven. Kate Smith is unreal. It's amazing. Cody Holland, Jose would have made it on base anyway. That sucks. Yes, I got to imagine they're going to change the official scoring on that. Have to. The only question is it going to be a single and an error or a double? I think you got to score at a double. We'll see what they do. That was a tough play. There was no way they were getting it out. It has to be a single. But it needs to be a double for the parlay to cash. Jokey Coffenzi Goat. Even though they're cheap, I love this team. One of the craziest innings I've ever seen. That first inning was unbelievable. Yes, it was an awful scoring call, Michael. There's no shot they were going to get him out. Michael says he feels most comfortable with Cade Smith in the game. Isn't that funny? That the guy you're most comfortable with in the game is their 7th inning pitcher, if you will. That's how good this Guardians pen is. For me, when Tim Herron's in the game, when Cade Smith's in the game, when Hunter Gaddis is in the game, and when, of course, Emmanuel Clase are in the game, I have complete faith. Doesn't mean they're never going to give up a run. Well, in Clase's case, it pretty much does mean that. He only gave up a couple of runs this year. But they have 4 pitchers, and they got 4 1/3 innings out of them today. Certainly they could get more if you need to. And you're going to need to, because Bibee went 4 2/3 today. Boyd and Cobb are not even likely to go that long necessarily. And those guys are completely fresh. They pitched once in 8 or 9 days. They're off tomorrow. Gaddis and then Clase, as I mentioned, barely pitched, both through single-digit pitches in this game. Fresh as hell and loving it. It was Jokic, offensive goat. That's your name. All right, sorry. So Kevin Blake, Matthew Boyd, revenge game in game 2. Bet he'll be pumped, no doubt. Michael, first inning was just what the doctor ordered. Ahmed, first inning was everything we needed to happen this playoffs, all happening in one inning. Quan finds his stroke. Thomas his power. Jose with timely hitting. And Bibee coming through in the end. This is correct. Everything you were looking for, it all happened. Michael Shupska, stealing game 2 would be pretty much a dagger. Tough ask, though. Folks, I understand. Listen, Tarik Skubal's going to win the American League Cy Young for a reason. He was the best pitcher in baseball this year. No doubt, no discussion. But, even Greg Maddux, one of the best pitchers I've ever seen, struggled in the postseason. We've seen Pedro Martinez struggle in the postseason. Tarik Skubal was really good against Houston. It wasn't completely lights out. This game is you can't. I think the Guardians will still be favored slightly. I'll be curious. Let's see. Let me go up on Bet River, see if that's up yet. See if the Guardians are favored in game 2. I don't know that it's up yet because the game just ended. Let's see. I don't think it's up just yet. I'll let you know if we get it. But I think the Guardians could definitely be a slight favorite in that game. I think. Maybe I'm crazy, but I expect that to be a close, low-scoring game. I'll take the under, whatever the hell it is in that game. Don't count that as a loss. The Tigers are the desperate team. They got to win that game. They go down 0-2, and they have to pitch. And now they'll be home for 3 and 4, but they won't have they won't have their best pitcher in either of those games, they're in trouble. Red Right 88, was I the only person screaming and cheering at the TV in inning one? So dang awesome. No. And by the way, get off my timeline if you're tweeting about anything else besides the Guardians during this game. I don't want to hear about the Browns during the Guardians game. I don't want to say, I don't want to hear Watson debates during the Guardians game. I don't want politics. I don't want nothing. I want only Guardians. AmRamps, I'll take the best bullpen in MLB over pitching chaos. Let's fucking go, Guards. Damn right. Michael, the bullpen is so good, Herron was pissed at himself for walking a dude when he had a 7-run lead. It's a good point. Tim Herron was the worst Guardians pitcher today. He allowed one base runner in an inning. He was the worst. Is he allowed to walk? Nick, great to see Lane Thomas have a game like this. Not a great start to his tenure here, but glad to see he's coming around. Yeah, everybody was down on him early. Kept saying, be patient, be patient. And he's been excellent in September. And his first playoff game, boom. First at bat, first pitch, crushed. Home plate ump was, he missed some calls. No doubt. DJ Remayhew, now suddenly the Tigers have all the pressure not to blow a Skubal start. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The Guardians had the pressure in game one. The Guardians stopped the Tigers' momentum. They dominated the game. They pitching dominated. And the Tigers are 100% feeling the pressure. They're young guys who have been playing all loosey-goosey. Now they're feeling it. I'm telling you, right now they're feeling it. They feel like they have to win on Monday or it's over. Marshall, thank God Thomas has gotten hot at the right time. He just may be the X factor this postseason. I said last week, Lane Thomas, Kyle Manzardo, the X factors. We'll probably see Manzardo in game 3. Or, he'll pinch hit probably again in game 2. Zach Bull, let's go Guards. Indeed, Zach. Dave says, great win. IO Rage loves the lineup. Shout out to Stephen Vogt. 100%. By the way, for all of you watching, I appreciate that you're with me live. If you're watching later, that's great too. I appreciate you watching, period. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. If you're not a subscriber already, please do so. Let's see. John says, let's go. Thanks for putting in the work and doing these shows, Bull. You're the man. Thank you, John. The work is pleasure. I'm a lucky man. I love doing this. I love chatting with Guardians fans. I love baseball. I'm all in on the Guardians. I want them to win the World Series so bad. So bad. Just like all of – I can't say just like all of you because you've been rooting for them your whole life, but I feel like I have been right now. I want this to happen for all of you so bad. I'm almost in tears about it. I'm a little emotional. I want this to happen. It's got to happen, and it just couldn't have been a better start, right, as Dimitri says too. J-Bo, 1982. LFG Cleveland. Damn right. Brad, game was over in the first. Correct. J-Bo says, I'm going Monday. Be my father's first time at the ballpark since municipal. Wow, cool. Lockdown Publications. Guardians gave us something to be happy about. That they did. Michael, Rocchio got a hit too. Everyone in the bullpen had a lights-out performance. Could not have gone better. Michael Z would have liked to see Chill Will get an inning or two, but excellent nonetheless. Scotty, man, absolutely fantastic performance. The bullpen is gas. Kratos Spot, thank you for saying that. Everybody's acting like Skubal has got. He's a great, excellent pitcher. Deserves to win the MVP. Deserves his respect. But let's not make it seem like he can't be hit at all. He didn't pitch. He pitched once against the Guardians this year. Not that it necessarily means anything. He didn't pitch great in that game. He wasn't terrible because I don't think he had one terrible start all year, but he wasn't great. Tony, this was a signature vote win. 10 more to go. 10 more to go. Great spot. They don't play tomorrow. I know. Did I say tomorrow? I think I've been saying Monday, but maybe I said tomorrow one time. Let's see. Ignacio says, great for my countrymates Rocchio and Jimenez. Never understood why Vogt took him out. Didn't like it, but I'm happy. Tomorrow with Skubal. Well, not tomorrow with Skubal. Monday with Skubal. With Deshaun, I know I'll suffer. I'm not talking Browns right now. Not interested in the moment. We'll talk Browns tomorrow. Let's see. Scotty, the Tommy call was pure gold. Adam, let's go Guardians. By the way, great broadcast team. I really like that TBS team. Brian Anderson does a great job. He's an excellent play-by-play guy. Was hyping up Cleveland, which we like. Jeff Francoeur was a good player, good analyst. Obviously, you have the option to listen to Hammy on the radio. We know Hammy's the best. Love listening to him. But today I watched the TV broadcast and it was great. Let's see. Michael. No. JG from space. We broke the Tiger's spirit. Let's not count them out yet. Ahmed. Kate Smith never got enough love all season. He's bar none our second best relief pitcher. Let's see. Tony says MLB posted the entire bottom half of the first as a highlight on their site. That's amazing. Carlos says, Bull, Carlos from Sydney here. Amazing job. Congrats. What time is it in Sydney, Carlos? I'm a little behind. There's so many YouTube chats. I'm a little behind. I'm trying to catch up here. But, wow, that's awesome that you're listening from Sydney. Fantastic. Red Right, Tony. No. Tony says the crowd fed the guards. I know it. You can hear it on the broadcast, no doubt. I'd love to go to some of these games, but I like to be home to see all the angles and the replays, and then I want to do my postgame right after. I don't want to wait. But we will, like I said, we'll do an Ultimate Guardian show in a couple of hours, too. So then we'll get Zach's reaction, more from me when I have a chance to settle in. We'll hear the postgame stuff, and that'll be interesting, too. So I hope you rejoin me later. Let's see. Tony, Bull, if the Guards win the World Series, will you cry? I think I will. 100%. Red Right, Mongo, Bulls coverage is top-notch. Thank you, Red Right. I don't know who Mongo is. He responding to somebody else on here? I haven't seen a Mongo. Nikki V was at the game. Actually, there were a ton of Tiger fans there, but they got shut up quick. Okay, yeah. Fresh Coast Freak. Let's go Guards, baby. There's Mongo. I'm new to baseball in this good chat. Love my Guardians. Love you, Mongo. Jay, it will be the most Cleveland thing if the Guards score more than the Browns do on Sunday. Mongo, how do you feel about how the Guardians did? Like I said, new to baseball. They played good. I know Skubal didn't play. I'm not going to worry about Skubal. They played great, not good. They did get 10 hits, Tony, off of Skubal earlier this year, but only one run. Got to get some clutch hits. Tony, Hedges is well-respected despite his non-presence on offense. Good, trusted catcher. Fine. But I don't want him in the starting lineup. Tony says, Vogt looks like a guy who could hold the trophy at the end of the season. Brendan, we could put the rest versus rust in the hottest team in baseball to bed. Let's put it to bed when the series is over. Ahmed, we'll live and die by our right-handed bats. Thomas, Noel, Fry. I have confidence in the lefties plus Ramirez. Hopefully they keep it up. Robert Gross, I'm as happy as you are that Sandlin didn't make the roster. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Good call by Zach. Oh, well, actually, Zach thought he would be on the roster, but he didn't, even though Zach thought he shouldn't. I know we both thought he shouldn't, but it was good that the Guardians, I think, did the right thing there. It is a little surprising that Lively didn't make the roster, but Zach and I thought that might be the case. Craig says, I think they changed Jose's first inning at bat to a fielder's choice with an error. No, that's still wrong. Should not be a fielder's choice. They were not going to get it out on that play. They've got to change it to a hit. We'll see if they do. On the Ultimate Guardian show, we should know by then. Brendan, go Guardians. Great job from the pitching staff. IO Rage, this team is so special. Brendan, Skubal can't score runs for them. Edward, Bull won a game. Yes, it was Edward. Gregory, let's hope KC gets it done and rather than the Yanks. Mr. Woody, what a fantastic afternoon. Can't ask for much more than the first inning. Charles, we need to get to Tarik Skubal early. Solo Eagle, aggressive but not overly aggressive today. Love the approach. D. Yates, hey, Bull, great game today, bro. Loved it. Guardians pitching was outstanding today from Styles. We got some good-looking ABs against him and get him out quickly. You want to run up that pitch count on Skubal. Get him out of the game as quickly as possible. Rob Venters, Bull, I believe we can go all the way. I think we have to get past the Yankees. I think the biggest concern is who you'd play in the World Series. I'm not worried about any of the teams in the American League. Doesn't mean they can't lose to them. I'm just not worried about them. Ignacio, why did Vogt take out? I assume you're talking about Bibee. I just don't think he wanted him to face Gary Carpenter for a third time. In the regular season, you leave him in there. In the playoffs, when your relief pitchers haven't pitched him forever, it was absolutely the right call. And I usually like giving the starter, especially a guy like Bibee. But Bibee understood it. You saw it when he came. He was pissed, and we'd want him to be pissed. But when Vogt came back to the dugout, who was the first guy there? Bibee, giving him a hug, saying, "Hey, I get why you did it." 100%. Doc T Studios is complaining about that as well. I'm telling you guys, it was the right call. Who cares? Bibee, doesn't matter who gets the win. All that matters is that they win. We'll wrap it up with this. Joshua says, great team win. Let's enjoy today, but staring down the barrel of 2 Skubal starts. You know what? Take care of business, and you don't have to worry about that second Skubal start. And yes, Kevin, Boyd and Cobb will have even shorter leashes, and the guys are going to be fresh. Love you all. Thank you all for joining me. Remember, I'll be back later tonight. Stay tuned on Twitter. I'll let you know what time. Probably somewhere between 6 and 7. We'll come on for an Ultimate Cleveland Guardians show. We'll see if the Guardians, they change the scoring on Jose Ramirez. We'll see what the players and manager had to say after the game. And we'll get Zach's thoughts as well as more from mine and more from you. Love you all. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the like. Thanks to Shane and Max for producing today. We'll talk to you on the Ultimate Guardian show later. I'll be back live in the bullpen tomorrow after the Browns game and Monday after game 2 of the Guardians. I've got you covered. I love you all. Let's go, Guardians! They're up 1-0. Again, game 2, Monday, 4:08. Matthew Boyd will take the ball to start for the Guardians, and he'll be opposed by the likely Cy Young, Tarik Skubal. Let's freaking go. I'll see you all later and tomorrow and Monday. We'll talk to you next time right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.